Hello! Welcome to the Raze Mod. This has been a bit of a work in progress. We got a lot of stuff done, lots of team members helping out on this one. And I'd like to just show you kind of what this mod is all about, how it plays. This is the nice little UI selection. You'll be able to pick your faction, and then you'll select from 2 heroes. And we have 2v2 at this moment. We have 2 players in the blue team, and then 2 players on the red team. We have the Dominion player with Warfield in charge, slamming down a bunch of Marines at the start, while Kerrigan, with her Kerrigan Swarm, has opted for an Infestor, which does cost gas. And gas is the main resource in this game. There are 2 lanes that have units spawning from the factories and the barracks. And as you see, immediately both teams, red and blue, have gone for these arms stockpiles that procure additional Goliaths to spawn during the waves, which gives you that extra pressure from extra Goliaths marching down the field. And against the Dominion, oh, a Scout Barrage pretty early on, but with that burnt down, he's only got his Zelts to back him up. This is the Praetor. He's got Scout Barrage, he's got a mobile stasis spell, and Kerrigan leaping in after him, chasing him away. So that one Kala player is backed off quite a bit. Well, we do have Phoenix, who's got his amped up Immortal, no longer sitting in a Dragoon. And he is one Immortal dude. So now the blue team has secured both of these arms stockpiles. There's another third one down here that no one has a split off supply to actually go capture. Ooh. So the 2 Kala players have grouped up and are making a push. There's the sentry gun on top of that arm stockpile, which gives them a little bit of defender's advantage. Warfield's Perdition turret goes down, so he's spent his ability, while Kerrigan is attacking on the left flank. All of her roaches have gone down. She leaps out of combat and escapes to the aid of this flame turret. While Phoenix and Praetor, they've got maybe 5-6 Zealots left, but it seems they have been thwarted and they'll have to group up for another push. The Dominion player is using their Orbital Reinforcement Beacon. This is actually the structure used to spawn units, and he can call down troops with drop pods anywhere he wants near these Orbital Reinforcement Beacons. And he's using this siege tank to lay siege to this Aegis generator. This powers these guns, and if you kill this generator, it actually does swap the team over. So we'll see that happen real quick. Both the Dominion and the Kerrigan Swarm are making an effort to swap this fort, so now they have an additional, really big area of map control for their team. While they've done that, though, the 2 Kalas have made a bid for these arm stockpiles. They're both left unguarded, so now they have an additional 2 extra waves of Goliaths per lane. Ooh, that's Phoenix's Pulse Beam. The art is still a work in progress. Just needs a bit of a touch-up, but definitely functions. So it does this giant line AoE downfield. So now the siege tank is doing a bit of a pressure, doing a bit of zoning. And let's see where Kerrigan is on the field at the moment. Looks like she's going to make a run for this arm stockpile and try to swap it over while... Oh, the 2 Kala players have overrun that area. The siege tank manages to get away, but Warfield had gone down during that fight. And these 2 generators plus this siege tank... Oh, that's the Ion Aegis for Phoenix. It basically really quickly increases the shields for all Protoss units around him. And they've managed to swap the fort over. But this generator is out of energy, so these turrets are going to have a really low fire rate. So they won't provide as much defender's advantage as they could. Kerrigan leaps out of action. Oh, she almost went down. And it looks like all the Zelts have been toasted. Blinding Cloud goes down from the Infestor. And the Kala players have been warded off. Phoenix is going to go down. He's in meltdown mode. He will blow up shortly. Until then, he's invulnerable. Doesn't manage to get on top of those Marines to do any extra firepower against them. We see the Kala forces warping in, gathering their forces back. And essentially how spawning units works is you can spawn units anytime you're under supply. You can always build zealots or marines or roaches, your really basic units. After they die, after 20 to 30 seconds, you get their money back. And here we have... Ooh, looks like... Oh, he tried to take the Kala player tried to take the blue stockpile on the bottom left, but luckily there was a group of marines in position to stop that from happening. It looks like there's going to be a pylon going down at a forward location to try to have a forward respawn point. These pylons are pretty pricey. Gas management is a pretty big deal. And that infestor goes down, very unfortunate. We see... Oh, Phoenix is back in action. They are on a 60-second respawn timer. Oh, Warfield has used his ultimate shooting down a battlecruiser barrage, while the Praetor has used his planet cracker. That's making a huge, massive swath of damage. All this battlecruiser barrage is also doing this a really good job of zoning the Kala away. All in all, both players weren't too devastated by it. But if you do manage to get an ultimate in a really good position, you can actually destroy like 2 armies at the same time, which is insane. And Kerrigan hasn't used her ultimate. She's got Fury, which makes her go crazy and constantly hurt Yudes around her, and double her HP, give her more energy. Basically goes into hyper mode. A lot of fun to use. And finally, Phoenix has dislodged the bottom left arm stockpile and mopped up all the troops guarding it. All the top right arm stockpiles are kind of up for grabs, but you do have to risk your army by marching down a bit further. The Zerg player actually can warp in units anywhere on top of these creep tumors. Ooh, the swarm host in play. This is sort of a Kerrigan's siege tank. It acts sort of like a carrier, but it has to root in place. And it does a really good job of soaking up enemy fire. Oh, the pulse beam knocks down all these roaches to low HP. They're going to be not wanting to take any fights anytime soon. And Phoenix follows up with an ultimate, teleports to the target location, recalls his army, and stuns everything. But Kerrigan uses her Fury, so now she's jumping into the action. Excellent counter to that ultimate. But the roaches do get cleaned up, which is not surprising considering they were all weak. So Kerrigan's army is basically out of action. She's really low HP, and it's basically Warfield who is left defending the front line. And speaking of Warfield, where exactly is he? He does have a... Dominion does have his small group of Marines. They're actually catching some reinforcing Dragoons, and they're going to take those down. Meanwhile, at the front lines, some Dominions are not being microed back to the fort. Goliaths, and this is the advantage of actually controlling these arm stockpiles, is every 2 minutes when there's a wave, you'll have additional Goliaths, and if you control more arm stockpiles than your opponent, your lanes will generally win out, causing your opponent to actually have to go and stop these dudes from just taking the fort. Big reinforcements. A bunch of Marines spawning in. This arm stockpile swapping to the red team, and it looks like it'll be a really timely swap. Time management is a pretty big deal, so they're actually going to get 2 Goliaths per lane, while the blue team is only getting 1 Goliath per team. That's actually a pretty big deal, especially if you can win all 3 stockpiles before the timer clicks up to 2 minutes. Ooh, Marines are en route to go actually capture arm stockpiles, but they do get intercepted. A Kala High Templar makes quick work of those. And there's a lot of fighting in the middle lane. An auto turret. Warfield is really a turret-based character. He can throw down flame turrets and auto turrets, which are really good at poking long range. And you can see this swarm host really go to work on these units and help zone and protect an area. But they are quite vulnerable if you're able to get in range of them. Which it looks like he's actually trying to do that. He's trying to get to the side and flank that swarm host, but it just blocks a lot of units from respawning again, kills that warping respawn structure. Ooh, ghosts have entered the field. Dominion manages to pick off a back zealot, but otherwise the nukes hit nothing. there is a group of Marines ready to marching on down to take an arm stockpile. One of the Kala players has a pylon on the bottom left, so he has easy access to just warp in a quick round of units and go attack the arm stockpile. So a lot of players actually scout for these pylons and try to take them out as best they can. No, the Swarm Host targeting down that Praetor, trying to poke him away. A lot of players find themselves running their hero back, or their entire army, as soon as their hero starts taking damage. So they are just so important. Ooh, Ghosts almost managed to kill that High Templar, and the Swarm Carrier finishes it up. Oh, and they finally get forward enough. That could have been microed back. And Roaches from Kerrigan's Swarm are en route to take that arm stockpile back. And, oh, almost in time. It's at the 10-minute mark, and now they'll swap places. But the Dominion do win out. They do have 2 out of 3 arm stockpiles. Kerrigan's being really, really aggressive. Ooh, Praetor isn't looking and lands 2 nukes. Oh my god. 2 Dragoons go down. And now here's the extra 2 Goliaths, so let's see if Dominion pressures. They do have a fusion core. This drastically increases the regeneration rate of nearby units for the Dominion. So they'll be able to nuke more often. But of course you do have to walk all the way back to the fusion reactor to get use out of that. Oh, and the Swarm Carrier makes the winning this lane extremely easy. A nuke goes down, kind of to zone the army. Another one lands on top of the army. And this Locust coming in. Meanwhile, one Kala really has their entire army dedicated to this arm stockpile. Might be a bit of an overextension, like maybe too many troops over to attack it, while the Dominion has sent only 4 Marines and captures it with just that. And so much pressure with these extra Goliaths. And the Locusts are coming into play. The Kala looks like he's trying to do a flank, but the Swarm Host has been targeted onto that High Templar. Let's see if they manage to get it. Oh no, there's a feedback that goes on this Locust, and it goes down from the shot of Phoenix's barrels. Ult goes off Kerrigan. She is mad as hell, and leaping and blowing everything up, manages to wipe out that entire army. Let's see if she leaps again to finish off Phoenix. One more shot, Phoenix goes down. And it looks like the Dominion has secured this generator. So there is 2 types of generators. There's these forts, basically as we call them, as the Aegis gun plus Aegis generator. There's these small forts which have only 2 guns on them, and they swap hands a lot more often. Oh man, the Ghosts are just tearing Zealots apart and Dragoons, but they do have to back off from that. So quite a bit of troops coming his way. And then there are the large forts, which have 4 turrets on them, and they take much more effort to take. And generally, once one player takes a big fort, they can head straight onto the enemy base and take out their Xel'Naga Court, which ends the game. Blue team doing an excellent job of controlling these objectives in a very timely manner. This is drawing a lot of Kala forces out of position. So now there's a small Ghost hit squad pushing with these groups. Oh no, they look like they're going to try to flank and help out these Roaches. Let's see if they land any nukes. Lots of nukes go down. Oh, I guess we should call them tactical missiles. And they swap that generator right back. Kala procure the bottom left arm stockpile. They're both playing a bit of arm stockpile control game right now. No one's doing any heavy pushing at the moment. Kala mainly just trying to take out the creeps. And Kerrigan and a Ghost squad are putting some pressure on the bottom right. They can't get too far. There's a lot of turrets on this fort. Ooh. Phoenix almost manages to get that Swarm Host, which, oh, these are so expensive. Being gas efficient is actually a pretty important concept in Raze, because these Swarm Hosts are not cheap. How much do they cost? 30 gas, and you do not get that quickly. Oh, there's an ultimate on top of the Kala army! Warfield runs in there and lands an ultimate, but oh, they get away just fine. But that puts him out of position. He's no longer guarding the fort. A bunch of nukes land on top of that generator. and making it really weak to these ghosts' sustained fire to finally swap that fort. And Kala just didn't move back in time to actually contest it. Generator pop, the Ion Aegis pops. Doesn't do too much, kind of an untimely use of it. The yellow Kala is landing some really good storms on top of that Roach army. Now they're really weak, so all those Roaches are basically needing to retreat and regenerator. Whoa, Phoenix morphed somewhere. Oh no! He goes down before his ult goes off. Perdition turret goes down. Really helps the zone against these zealots. While Scout Barrage doesn't quite hit anything. Oh, there's a Planet Cracker that goes down and slices into a big portion of the army. So it looks like this pressure on the right side has been thwarted, but on the left side, the Dominion has taken that generator, and additionally is also capturing this stockpile. Oh, so many ghosts. Really what helps against, you really need to catch these with the High Templar's feedback that actually stuns them, or really fast units. Some sort of lockdown usually helps. Let's see if the Kala army can get anything done. They're having a really hard time on the left flank because the Dominion is really blocking access to this arm stockpile. So I'd like to see them actually push up to the top right and go around and actually go for this stockpile. Ooh! Scout Barrage nails Kerrigan. She's down on the red. She pops her ultimate to get half her HP back. And is she gonna... Oh, I don't know if she's getting very much use out of this ultimate. It basically just gets her health back, but beyond that, doesn't get much done. Alright, these forward two turrets are down on this bottom left fort. Shield battery goes down on the right side of the map to bolster the defense of this fort, ensure it doesn't go down easily. Kerrigan's making a run for this fort to try to swap it. Oh no! Swarm Host, what are you doing? No, you can't lose those like that. Dominion getting a bunch of siege units out in play. Zoning with a nuke. Really nice, scares off the Kala army temporarily. And the siege tanks actually have 15 range because everything is just so mobile in this game. Oh no! Kerrigan's army gets cut off and gets cut to shreds on that flank. Oh! Isolation Pulse goes down. And he's setting up on top of the Karen army, but there's a mass nuke on the Protoss army, and he gets torn to pieces as... Oh, that could have been so sick. But the Dominion army just said, screw it, I'll lose my tanks, and nuked himself. The Kala army along with it. Oh, that was sick. Ooh, not... Oh, just the Kala doesn't... He uses his Fury, but he just doesn't have the troops. There's still so many ghosts on this flank. There's a bunch of Goliaths and Warhounds that helps kill the rest of the units. And two turrets were already down, so they were not providing much firepower. And on the right flank, the Goliaths, just the superior amount of Goliaths are putting continual pressure. Kerrigan respawns. Oh, I guess you died somewhere. There's a lot that goes on in one of these matches, so they are a bit hard to keep track of, especially compared to StarCraft 2. When you really only watch two players. Ooh, nukes coming down. Oh, but doesn't get too much. But these fungal growths are nailing the targets. They do AoE damage and then slow down your targets. So they are kind of this half nuke. They do 60 damage on contact. Oh. Oh, if the blue team can actually secure this fort and stop it from swapping back, they can make a bid for the Xel'Naga Court and end the game. Kerrigan and Warfield are just guarding this flank by themselves, a tag team of heroes, while Dominion has also partitioned some Marines to capture the arm stockpile. So this next creep wave is going to be huge. 4 Goliaths are coming down on the field. Ooh! Major hits on those ghosts. They eat some storms, and Kala manages to finally clean those annoying buggers up. The ghosts are pretty damn expensive, so that army is... Losing that army is actually a huge deal. They do cost 25 gas each, and they have so much utility. Oh, Phoenix goes down, but he sacrifices himself to blow up, do a lot of AoE damage onto those creeps. But there is just so many Goliaths. Praetor uses his Planet Cracker, shreds that massive influx of creeps, and it's so required for him to do that. He is just trying to survive any way he can, while this mass amount of Goliaths and Warhounds are tearing into this side fort. And there's a final push with Marines and Roaches. Swarm Host Locusts are coming in and distracting some goons. And are they gonna be able to take down the core? It looks like it. Sea Shank's coming into play. And boom! Blue team managed to win! Dominion and Kerrigan are victorious in this fight against Phoenix and the Praetor. So that is the Raze mod. If you enjoyed that and you want to try it out, it is going to be up on the arcade. We'll have a couple of maps to play. There's going to be more factions and races coming. But first we are finishing up the core gameplay, getting some nice little timers for stuff to, like maybe some bleeps to show how many stockpiles people control, or the timer for when the waves are spawning in. So really nice, cute stuff like that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this cast. Check it out. It should be a lot of fun. It already feels pretty strategic. Even 1 versus 1 feels really strategic. And it's a lot of decision making as far as moving your army around, what to attack, where to control, where to choose your troops, and when to use your ultimate, stuff like that. Hope you guys enjoyed it.